Let's do it, bro.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Grow with Nico podcast. Today we have an incredible friend of mine, mentor, all-around great human being, Danny Cavs, joining us.
What's going on, everyone? Appreciate you.
We're making it happen today on the Grow with Nico podcast, where we truly get to understand some of the incredible people that I met throughout my lifetime, what they do, how they got to being where they are today. These are all people I see as extremely successful, and I see Danny as a man who built a life that he truly loves.
Appreciate it.
And someone who I strive to be like one day as well. So it truly makes me happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. It's an honor.
It's an honor. Come on.
Yes, let's grow together.
To give you guys a little background, let's grow together, baby. Danny's been helping me build Grow with Nico and the Let's Grow Together Career Accelerator and all these amazing things. So really quick, before we jump into all the things that we've been building together, I'd love to know, what do you do, Danny? Who is Danny? What do you do? I feel like a lot of people in this life kind of see success as a one-track type of place where you go to college, you go to a corporate job, you kind of just follow this path that was already pre-laid out for you by whether it's your parents or society or whoever. But I've seen you take a very different path. So kind of
Appreciate it. So to start back growing up, like I was always into sports, and so I have that competitive nature. And then actually growing up in sports, I got injuries, and so I wanted to be a physical therapist because physical therapy like really changed my life. So the plan of like society or even just like my parents is, stability, right? Find something that's just going to be like stable, secure. And I guess I was going for that route. So I was going for physical therapy, but then at the same time in college, I started growing my online fitness business. And so when I started in school and then also online fitness training, I just really loved the training aspect. And of course it's not as stable. So it's like taking that risk, but it was okay because I was still in school, right? There's like really not a lot of risk. I had some extra time and like, I'll start a fitness page, whatever. But then the fitness business really started escalating, started getting more clients, got mentors, guidance, all that. And then junior year heading into senior year, I pretty much just pulled the trigger mentally and told my family, listen, I'm gonna finish undergrad for health science, but I'm not gonna go to post-grad PT anymore for physical therapy. I'm going to go all in online coaching. And my parents definitely thought, they were supportive, which is a blessing, but again, that in the back of all our heads, we were like, well, it's not as stable. And 5-6 years ago, that was just so new and like not where it is today. You see it everywhere. Sure. It was so new and unstable. And I just trusted my faith and my ability, and went really all in. And so after that decision, I finished my last year of school, moved to Florida where we're at right now, in this beautiful building. Now we're doing online coaching full time, and actually a couple of years ago just transitioned to business coaching for coaches like yourself, for fitness coaches, all that. So that's kind of where I'm at, short story. Yeah.
Short story long, man. But that's incredible, dude. Honestly, it's really cool to see how you went through college, you had the energy and like felt the need to like build something more, right? I think so many people, when they have that extra time on their hands, they're like, I'm gonna go drink with my buddies, I'm gonna go hang out with some girls, I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z. But the fact that you decided I'm gonna build something is like huge, right? And no matter what stage in life you're in, I think that whether you're like a lot of your clients, right? Your fitness clients, like they're busy, right? Like, I don't have time, I don't have this, but nobody does, right?
Nobody
Whether it's
does.
College or your career, or X, Y, and Z, you kind of took the time to build something, and now you get to live this.
I appreciate it. We all have the same 24 hours, right? So it's like, if we see people that we want to be almost like, it's like they have the same day that we do. It's just they have different priorities. So that's kind of what I saw. And what I told myself is, I'm gonna sacrifice everything in the 4 years of college. And I did. Like, I didn't really go out much, didn't have that many friends, was living by myself. And it was a dark season. It was also during COVID, where it was just like everything was shut down. And I literally wouldn't see like people for days at a time, like just a human being. I was just like trapped in my house working on the business. And I told myself I'm gonna sacrifice these 4 years for the rest of my life of freedom. And that's what I'm doing now.
There we go. And how long ago was that? How long have you been building your business?
Since 2018, so it's been 8 years.
It's been 8 years. That's incredible.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Something I wanted to touch on is, at least for many people, when seeing all these things come through social media, people see it as like an overnight success or something that happens so quickly. So a question I wanted to ask you is like, do you think that social media makes this path look easier than it actually is?
That's a great question. That definitely is true. I think social media will show the path that it is a bit easy just because you only see the positives. And that's what I try to do with my content. I could do a better job, but showing like the lows, the authenticity, the dark times, the tears, the stress, all that stuff. So I think it's really powerful to show some of the harder times, because it's almost like a video game in a way, where it's like the checkpoints, right? The next mission, the next mission. But sometimes you just like die in the video game, like death, right? And so that's really sometimes what it is when it comes to it's like I'm gonna take that back. Instead of a video game, think about like a movie, right? With a movie, it's like they show like the come up, right? In the main character, they have like a failure, right? Mm-hmm. They get knocked out, Rocky Balboa, right? And then it shows Rocky training. Yep. But that training, we see 2 minutes of it in the movie. It was really 2 years, right? As an example. So it's like, that's just real life of what you kind of have to go through most of the time to get to where you want to go. And so I think social media just shows like the bright side, when in reality you got to be in the trenches and it's going to be tough.
And you just have to keep going.
Just keep going. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part. It's the fun part when you get to the other side and you're like, it paid off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's really cool. And I love how you put like Rocky as an example, because it truly is like, you have to fight for it.
You have to fight for it. Yeah.
You spent 8 years building your business, right? Yeah. Building your entire career path from pretty much nothing, which can be much more than a challenge, right? It can be a whole movie's worth of cutscenes trying to get to the end.
For sure.
But before you got into coaching, like what did your life look like before?
Oof, that's a good question. Before 2018?
Before 2018, like kind of what led you to get to that point where you decided?
Got it. Yeah, so I was a full-time athlete, like basketball, football, play with friends, that's it. And then when I would play with friends, it was just sports. So like full-time athlete. And then like I mentioned a bit before, I actually broke my kneecap, and that was 12 years ago now. And when I broke my kneecap, I gained 30 pounds. So I was really uncomfortable in my body. I was insecure. I was always like the fit kid, and then I gained like 30 pounds, and I was just like, what is going on? And so when I lost that weight, I went down the rabbit hole of good nutrition, dieting to lose those 30 pounds, and I fell in love with fitness. And so I was still an athlete, but I didn't even know it yet, but I was in love with fitness at the same time. So when I hit college, I was like, I hung up the cleats and I was like, oh my God, this is tough. You lose your identity. You're like, what do I do now? And it was really a dark time because I didn't know who I was. And so I kind of just surrendered, and I'm like, okay, what's the next thing I can do in my life that has meaning? And it was fitness. So I started a fitness page, started selling meal plans and nutrition plans, workout plans on the Notes app on my phone for $25, and started with that.
That's how it starts.
That's it. That's how it started.
It's really cool to like you mentioned, it literally started with $25. I feel like a lot of times so many people see these like high ticket sales and these huge programs and all these different things. And some people might just try and like dive into the deep end, but don't realize that like you have to start somewhere, right? Even if it's cheap. Joe from our previous podcast, he mentioned how at one point he kind of started his whole marketing agency from literally selling like dozens of eggs at a time. That was his start, right? Which is so crazy to see. And it's cool to see that his version is dozen of eggs. Yours is literally like notes, like something you typed up yourself. And taking it from 0 to $25 is still a huge. Dude, for me in college,
it's pretty. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's Chipotle like twice.
Exactly. I was like, okay, no expenses. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pocket everything. Like it's just on my Notes app. Like there's no overhead fees or anything. Like that's just all straight cash. So I was pretty pumped up. It was pretty cool.
Well, do you think that? And this is a genuine question. Like, do you feel that you get that same rush now when you're closing a client than you did when you made those $25, or were you almost?
That's a great question. I think I still do get the rush. I still do. Sometimes I have to center myself and really sit and be like, wow, I'm so grateful for this person that just invested in me. Because when you start signing more and more, you don't want to make it normal mentally, right? You always want to appreciate that like new client, or whether someone's re-signing, whatever it is. So I really try to appreciate just every person that invests in me, because they can invest in other people. They can invest in other mentors. Like somehow the algorithm might not have pushed them my way. Like you never know. So I really try to be grateful and try to appreciate every dollar, every single person that believes in me.
1,000%. And like you said, I love that mindset you have of really appreciating every person. Because as we know, the infinite different decisions that someone can make in their life.
Yeah.
The fact that they even somehow found you.
It's crazy. The internet's a crazy place.
Yeah. And the fact that they're willing to invest into you, right? I think that must be it's like honoring almost.
It's beautiful, yeah. Like in business, there's a lot of hot streaks, but there's some cold streaks. And so on the cold streaks, you really, really appreciate the hot streaks, right? And then the hot streaks, you want to make sure you remember the cold streaks, because then it will give you more gratitude. Because the cold streaks are hard. It's like you're doing the same amount of work, but maybe people aren't signing up, or clients are dropping off, or whatever it is. And sometimes it's natural in business because you have to learn from those cold streaks to have hot streaks. But I think that's what instills gratitude too, is like the droughts where it's like, wow, I'm dry right now. It's crazy how just 2 weeks ago I got like 6 clients. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like a miracle. So I think just having that perspective too.
Yeah. 1000%. And especially through the cold streaks, I could imagine it becomes really challenging to stay consistent or to just keep on track, right? So what are some habits that you use or keep or hold on to in those cold streaks to keep you
That's a great question.
To keep you like pushing forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. So during the cold streaks, what I think is almost like a workout. If you work out one time, you're not going to see results right there. It's going to come eventually. It's going to compound. So also I think of myself like as a farmer. Right, so if I'm doing the inputs and content and taking care of like my team and messages, like all the things we should be doing, and we don't see a result that day, I'm like, all right, well, the fruit that we pick is not going to be the plants that I messed that up. But the fruit that we pick is not coming from the plants that we're going to put in the ground that day, if that makes sense, right? It takes a little bit of time. And so I think for me, just thinking of myself as a farmer, like I'm planting seeds, the fruit might not come that day, but it's going to come.
Yeah.
And the only way if I fail is if I just stop planting the seeds. That's how I'm not going to have a harvest eventually. So even if I don't have results or if I don't have anything sprouting that day, like I'm still going to keep planting seeds, and eventually the harvest will come. Yeah.
The harvest will come.
Harvest will come, bro.
I love that. A good friend of mine also always says that a lot of people, when planting their seeds, right?
Yeah.
A metaphor they use is very similar to yours, is don't leave before the harvest.
Right.
Sometimes you put in so much time and effort into planting all these seeds, and
100%.
you just give up before you get
100%,
there.
dude.
And
so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's almost like the meme where there's like an upper part of the picture and then a lower part. The upper part, it's like the guy's digging for gold.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets it. And then the other lower part of the picture is this guy's digging for gold. He's 6 inches from gold.
Stops right there.
And then it shows him with like his axe on his back. He's walking the other way. He's like, I gave up. I've been doing it too long. Little does he know, one more swing, gold.
Could have been there.
So that's like that was like one of my biggest fears starting the business, is like, I don't want to put in all this work and then not see that harvest. Like, I'm just going to keep going until it happens. There's no plan B.
The only way you fail is by giving up, right?
That's it. 100%.
I love that. That's sweet. Talking about the guy digging for gold, right? A big thing about all these different things, and a thing that I'm challenged with many times is motivation strikes, and I'm all in, right? And I'm going and I'm going and I'm doing everything at a million miles a second. And as soon as that motivation just dies off, or I get burned out, or I just reach that point where I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I'm tired. Sometimes it hits. What are some ways that you keep yourself motivated or keep yourself moving forward when motivation drives out?
I think that's a great question. I think when you're on purpose, it's hard for that to happen. Okay. I'll be honest. Like, I definitely get tired at times, for sure. But when you're on purpose, it doesn't really feel like burnout. That's the label we kind of put behind it. So I've been trying to view how I see burnout, and usually with burnout, it's like, well, we're just not doing what we're really meant to do almost.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Now, if you feel like you're on purpose, like this is your calling, and even you're putting a lot and you just feel tired, like get those burnt out symptoms, I would say. What it comes down to for me is thinking, okay, coming back to the guy digging for gold, it's like if we're digging for gold and then we stop, right? It's like, it just prolongs the process. So I'm not gonna rush anything, but I like fast. I just do. So it's like, okay.
Me and you both.
It's like, this is the way culture works. So if I know I want this X result and I keep going, then I stop, I keep going, then I stop. I just know, all of us, it's gonna take longer. So I'm gonna stop at the end, I'm not gonna stop in the middle. Because then it's just gonna prolong my time. And in my head, the way sometimes I work, it's like the pros and cons. It's like, okay, a pro is maybe I relax. You could go, let's kick it up for the day, go to the beach for a few days, take a vacation. And I do, like, I smell the roses, for sure.
Sometimes you have to.
For sure. But it's a difference between being intentional about smelling the roses and just, like, giving up when motivation stops.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, all right, pro is I get to relax. Con is like, okay, this is going to happen in 2 years instead of 6 months. And I'm going to be 2 years older. There's going to be more people ahead of me, saturated space. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, might as well just keep going. It's like a logical play. I just tell myself, it's like a logical tune. And just keep going even though I don't want to. And that's when I feel better, is when I actually follow through on something that I don't want to do. That's when I feel my best at the end of the day, knowing I just gave it all I got, even though I didn't freaking want it.
The work has to get done one way or another.
Has to get done. And it's like when the head hits the pillow and you kind of know subconsciously, like, I wanted to do that, but I didn't. It's tough. It's tough sleep.
It's the worst,
It's
dude.
tough sleep.
No sleep.
It's tough, bro.
You lay there staring at the ceiling like, what have I done? And I think that's where a lot of, at least for me, like stress and anxiety comes from. Mm-hmm. It's not from what I did, it's from what I didn't do.
Yeah.
I get anxious when I think to myself, like, what if I did just give it that extra mile? And after something's been dead or just not worked on for quite some time, it's hard. It's harder and harder to get back to it every time.
Exactly.
And nothing's worse than living with regret. Like, what if I just kept
going, That's
right?
100%. That's the number one thing, kind of circling back to the beginning, that I started in 2018, the business. The number one thing that scared me into action was being 60, 70, 80, being like, I wish I did this.
Yeah.
Because as of now, we can't time travel. Maybe we can by the time this releases. I don't know. But like, right now we can't. So it's like, if you're 70 and you're like, I wish I did it, there's no changing that. Yeah. There's just no control. And so that's why I'm just taking action now, because I want to give it everything I got. Like,
for sure.
That's really it. And for me, when you're on purpose, it's harder for me to like take days off because I want to kind of do the things. I just like fell in love with that process, because as humans, we just want growth. Like, even if we don't want it, like, grow with Nico, right? Yeah. Like, that's what you do. So we love growth, and I love growing. That's what I'm learning about myself. Like, I'm more happy with a day of getting stuff done compared to chilling. 8 hours goes by, I didn't do much. I'm like, I don't feel as fulfilled.
Yeah,
so
100%.
That's kind of me. Yeah,
it's really like the intrinsic reward you feel from accomplishing something, from finishing it, from truly feeling like,
exactly,
I did that.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. So
that's sweet.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you think that success is more about discipline or clarity?
Ooh. That's a great question. Because, like, what do you define, I guess, as success? Like, that's...
Yeah.
I think it's different for people's definition. I guess, like, success, growth in health, wealth, relationships, like, let's just say that. I think it's both. It goes hand in hand, because you can have clarity, but if you don't have discipline, you're not getting it anywhere. Correct. If you have discipline but no clarity, you're also not getting anywhere. It's like you're running as hard as you can, but into a wall. It's like, how hard can you really do that? Or running on a hamster wheel. So I tell clients too, even with like success with growing their business, it's gonna take batteries and strategy. And so batteries is that discipline aspect where it's like, okay, you gotta be showing up, doing the inputs, like making sure you have the good work ethic. But then strategy is the clarity. Strategy, here's the roadmap, here's the compass, like this is how you get from A to B. So I think it takes both.
It takes both.
Yeah, it's like one can't go without the other, if that makes sense.
100%, it's yin and yang.
Yeah, it's a great question. That's a great question.
I think you worded it perfectly, right? Like, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You're just I think that was perfect. Like, you're running full speed into a wall.
That's what it is, yeah.
A friend of mine, Kelly, would always talk about how you need to talk to, like, the different parts of your body. And at first I was like, okay, interesting. But as she kind of kept talking about it, I like, did a practice of my own at one point. And this was a point in time where I was starting to lose my marbles a little bit. I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I need to go all in on building Grow with Nico.
Right.
I want to be the person that little Nico really looks up to, all these different things.
Love it.
And I noticed, and I read something different, very similarly in the book Principles by Ray Dalio. Highly suggest you read it if you haven't. Speaking about how you can't make a decision solely based off emotion. It has to be with reason as well. So she's saying, like, you can't just listen to your heart for a decision. Your mind also has to rationally be able to make that the right decision. Yeah. And it was really crazy because my heart was screaming at me to do one thing, but my mind just could not make it make sense. Like it didn't have reason behind it. So I just got stuck in this point of like turmoil of just not knowing what to decide, which I think got worse, right? Like I had like no clarity or discipline in that situation, or I had too much clarity and the discipline couldn't back it up. Like it just didn't make sense. So something that Ray Dalio says in his book called Principles is saying that you need to have, both need to align and both need to agree. Your emotions and your rationality have to align to make that decision. And if you follow that to make the hard or the big decisions in life, it'll just lead you towards that better path.
I love that. So like the light bulb moment.
Correct.
It's like, I feel like it connects, like something just connects where you're like, your body and your brain, like something sparks, and you're like, that's it. Yeah. Just, I don't even know, but that's what comes up to mind when you say that.
No, 1000%. Yeah. And I think those, when you catch those moments, you get the motivation, and you just need to find the ways of keeping the discipline
lit up,
going.
100%.
Yeah.
Like when you hit that clarity strike, 100%.
So, obviously, a lot of the audience is people who are either early in their careers or my sister, shout out Caro.
Hey.
But what would you say to someone who feels like they're stuck in a job that they don't enjoy?
It comes back to the regret, 100%. Like time's gonna go on with or without you, whether you're like locked in or not. And so do you wanna be 50, 60, 70 and being like, okay, I spent all my life building somebody else's dream instead of building my own dream. So for me, like that's what 100% scares me. And that is more expensive than the risk of doing my own thing. That's like the sole reason for me. Yeah, like I'm big and I'm kind of stubborn in a way where I want freedom.
Yeah.
And I think growing up in school with me, like I got good grades and stuff, but I just didn't like when you have to be here at this time, you have to do this, you have to eat your food at this time. I don't know why, it just like I didn't want to live that life and do the same thing with work, where it's like someone has to tell me when to eat, someone has to tell me when to do specific things. Like I have good work ethic and I show up because I guess I'm on my own terms in a way. And I kind of just like the free flowing, obviously you need some structure, but I think having control over my own schedule and then doing my own thing so I don't have those regrets of like, oh, I should have started this, shoulda, woulda, blah, blah, blah. Like, can't go back in time. So that's what really pushes me. So if someone's watching, stuck in a job, yeah, it's gonna be really scary to leave. I wouldn't leave like right away.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
About it.
Yeah. I know. Like we've talked to some people, and it's like, okay, build your side hustle or your side business as you're growing, like as you have your main job. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be worth it because eventually the side business will start to catch up and match your income of the current job. That's when you can drop the other job. Yeah, your family's gonna stay stuff. There's gonna be people tearing you down, or they're gonna be like, well, what if this happens? They're gonna be scared. That's a lot of them just kind of portraying what they didn't do on you.
Yeah,
nothing against them. They don't even know they're doing it, right? They're just trying to keep you safe just like they did it. So I think that's a sign too. If people are judging you, that means you're on the right path. So yeah, kind of a long answer, but there's a lot that goes into it, and you got this. You got this.
Not a long answer at all, man. That was beautiful.
Okay.
I think the fact that you mentioned if people are judging you and telling you to turn around, you're probably going the right way is huge, because if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Right.
And we were talking earlier about how social media can make things look so easy.
Right.
But if it was so easy, then every single person in the
Exactly.
world would be like an influencer, or be building their business online, or be doing things that give them freedom.
Right.
The freedom. I think a big freedom that I've been striving for as of lately is freedom of time and location.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
For a long time, I was chasing freedom, like financial freedom.
Yep.
And I think I was able to finally like reach a point where I'm comfortable with my finances. I'm not worried about how I'm going to pay rent next month.
Right.
In a worst case scenario, we're still good, right?
Yeah.
And of course, as soon as you reach one goal, you set another.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm really excited to find out what is your definition of freedom now, or what's something that you're striving towards now.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
In your life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think every step will lead into the next. Like, I don't think I'll be doing this forever, I'll be honest, but each step kind of leads into the next. and I could lay it out and be like, this is my 5-year plan. I always laugh at the 5-year plans because I've tried that, and I'm someone of faith, and like when I lay someone out, God's like, nope, I got something better. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna play this out like 90 days at a time and see what happens. Even within that 90 days, like you could have that light bulb moment where like, yes, this is actually what I'm gonna do. But that thing that you wanna do wasn't possible if you didn't take that step 2 and that step 1 in order to get to step 3. Right, so it's like for me, okay, started with sports. Sports gave me the leadership to be a coach. Coach eventually led me to be a business coach. Business coach is going to lead to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. So I'm excited about that. And when it comes to your point of like freedom, what I want now, it is freedom for sure, financially, and also I think time-wise. Financially, I'm not one for like boats, and that's just not me. If people are out there, like dude, that's completely fine. With me, it's more of I want to get stuff and not look at the bill. Whether it's dinner, whether it's a family vacation, whether I'm traveling, I just want like freedom of numbers, right? So I think that will relieve a lot of stress. And also time freedom, and I think I've been trying to capitalize on that lately, where it's like working from wherever. So this year alone, I went to California, I went to Denver, I went to Costa Rica recently, and I'm still able to like work from there, gain income, serve my clients. So that's starting to fulfill and unfold that freedom. And I think just like, you know, going on to the next thing, but being grateful for what I have. Because like you said before, once you hit a goal, it's the next thing.
Yeah.
And there's a great saying where it's like a top of the mountain is the bottom of the next. And so it's like enjoy where you're at right now, but also enjoy the climb, right? And that brings me back to another point too, where we were talking about burnout. I think it's all perspective, and I'm definitely not perfect at this or at all. I got to work on it, but it's like burnout can be a privilege, right? Hard work can be a privilege. 16-hour days can be a privilege. It can be a blessing.
It's a huge privilege.
Right? And so it's like having that perspective where a lot of people think like, man, I don't want to do that. Well, it's just kind of how you look at it. So yeah, that's my definition of like success, freedom, where I want to be.
I love the point that you touched on at the end where it's a blessing to work those 16-hour days because we're in a situation where we can do that. It's not that we have to, it's that we get to.
We get to.
And at any point in time, the same way we decided to like pick up this side hustle and chase it, you can just let it go and drop it.
100%. You could. You could just
that's
stop.
That's the same thing with relationships, with your career, with your side hustle, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
At some point we decided, I'm going to hold on to this.
Yeah.
And then maybe we saw something else shiny. We were like, wait, I'm going to hold on to this. And then we were holding on to it, and then we're like, wait, I want that too. And now we're just kind of like, what have I done?
Yeah.
But it's really important to remember that we're 100% allowed to just be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on these two.
Right. I hear you.
Which is crazy. I good friend of mine, Boris, once said, this one's great. I was talking to him about my goals for 2026 and how I have my 3 Bs, right, for 2026.
Okay.
It's business, body, babe.
Love it. I love it. Health, wealth, relationships.
Yeah, those are the 3 things that I really, really wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
And Boris looks at me, he goes, in like a really deep Russian accent, which I'm not going to do. He's like, 3 Bs? Fuck your 3 Bs. There's only 1 B. Business. I was like, Boris, but what about like my body? What about my babe? He goes, no. You can only have 1 B. When I was young, I had a monkey, and I was like, whoa, you had a monkey? He's like, I had a monkey, okay? And when the monkey got out, the monkey was running around, the monkey was going crazy, and there's only one person who could put the monkey away. And I was like, he made this up, right? He goes, my mom. I was like, oh, he definitely had a monkey.
No way.
He goes, the monkey would get close, my mom would get close to the monkey and grab the monkey and hold it by the tail and throw it in the cage. And he goes, and this is where it all came together, he goes, when you're picking up all these bees, you're holding more and more monkeys. How many monkeys can you hold? They're going crazy. They're running around. You don't know what they're going to do. How many can you hold? And he goes, I was like, you know what, Boris? You have a point.
Yeah, no, that's fact.
You have a really good point.
I love that. That's a great point because, like you said, we have control of picking certain monkeys, right? We definitely can, but if we want a good, this is a weird thing, you know what I mean? But like if we're thinking about the monkeys, right? If we want a really good relationship with one of those monkeys and we want to make it work and make them tame and train them, we got to stick to one.
Yeah.
Or else we're gonna be like, don't excuse my language, but like a monkey hoe, where it's like you just keep going, next monkey, and then it's like, what are we doing? So same thing with business.
Yeah,
like,
you're never getting anywhere.
A lot of people start like a side hustle, put 90 days into it, doesn't work, but they left before the harvest. And then on to the next thing, on to drop shipping, on to Amazon this, on to blah, 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 blah. Now we're doing real estate.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like, it's just stick to one thing. Like, yes, it can change. For me, I'm not gonna do what I'm doing probably forever, but it's always going to lead into the next thing. I'm not going to just like give up and start another thing, if that makes sense.
1000%.
So I always tell people, what would you do for 5 years if you didn't get paid and no one was gonna judge you? Like, what would you do if for free, and if you're like the only person in the world, no one was gonna judge you, because that's also what stops a lot of people, right? And what would you do for 5 years without a dollar to your name and no one's gonna judge you? And then you'll start thinking what you really wanna do, and once you pursue that, it'll be a long-term play because you really love it. It's not even about the money, it's about the process. That's kind of an exercise I bring people through.
1000%. I think that's a great process. When I was starting Grow with Nico, I kept thinking to myself, I was like, and I think with a lot of things in my life and in general, I want to see that instant gratification. And when I didn't see it, I would give up on things, or give up on people, or give up on relationships, or all those different things, right? And there was just so many times where I felt like I was having so much fun because the feeling of starting something new is always so great and so exciting. But it reached a point where I started so many new things, but didn't like see them through, that now I just was completely unfulfilled, right? I felt super alone. I felt like, what am I even working towards? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's beautiful of staying and watering that same plant till you get the harvest.
100%.
And I kept telling myself, like, Grow with Nico or whatever I'm building, wherever it leads to next, isn't going to be a 1 year thing. It's not going to be a 2 year thing. It's not going to be 3.
Yeah, good for you.
I want to do this for like
100%.
5 years. It's possible it'll take me 10 years, and at that point I'll reap my harvest.
Yeah.
And there's so many people, like, I see you as one of those people. I see a lot of artists as those people, right? That we see them and we're like, wow, like they made it. They're so young. Like they must have done it so quick. But in reality, you just spent the last 8 years of your life building this.
Yeah, definitely.
Most people can't say they've done anything for 8 years of their lives.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So especially not dedicated to doing it every single day.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
That's incredible.
I appreciate it, and I think a lot of people, like if we're thinking about this building, for people watching, we're at a building right now. It's 34 stories high. It's beautiful. A lot of people have a dozen unfinished buildings. They start with one building, they go 10 stories, and they're like, you know what? I just don't see this through. On to the next building.
Yeah.
9-story. Oh, you know what? Nah, it's getting hard at this section, like building the pool. So let's start another one. But they're all gonna be tough, all right? So it's like, pick which one you want to go with, make one really good building, right? And then go from there. If that analogy kind of makes sense in any way.
It makes perfect sense. Finish it. Like, what's the point if no one ever moves in, right?
Finish it. Exactly. 100%. Yes.
That's sweet. So, really quick before we get to our final few questions.
Do it.
Going back to one of those people that are listening right now, right? Let's say it's someone who's stuck in their job. It's someone who just feels unfulfilled. Someone who's maybe questioning to themselves, the same way I question myself thousands of times, like, what am I working towards, right? And they just feel stuck. What's one thing you would have them do this week that can help them just take that first step, or even if it's one little step, just towards that direction of finding their clarity or finding their discipline? So
you've heard me say this before in a talk that we've had, and I think it can help, right? So if you're looking on what to do, I always say, what are you doing in your free time that you could possibly get paid for? So go to literally like your YouTube history or TikTok or Instagram. What are the things that you're just watching for free, inspires you for free? What is that thing after a long day of work at your 9 to 5 that you probably don't really like too much? What are you doing after that? Because that's your true passion, right? And it could be anything, right? It could be, I remember helping this guy that loved shoes. Like after his job, he would just be looking up shoe videos, and then he started making shoe videos and got like some brand deals, all that stuff. And so what are you like passionate about that you're gonna pour your time into for free right now and see if there's a way that you can monetize it and get paid for it. And first steps to do that, now we have AI. So it's like if you have that topic, you can plug in AI, hey, what is the best way to monetize this step by step, right? You'll get some good ideas. The difference of the people that make it are who are the people that are actually going to take action on those ideas. Mm-hmm. You can't just look at it and be like, that's cool, and then go to sleep and do nothing, right? So for me, we didn't have AI like in 2018, so I looked at people that were already doing it. 100%. I would like reach out to them if possible, if there was a mentorship. Like that's what really, really helped grow my business is just mentorship and guidance and investing in someone to just show me the roadmap and give me what to do without all the battle scars.
Yeah.
That's what helped me. And if there's not a mentorship tailored to what you're trying to do, there's got to be someone. So even if you have to reach out to 30, 50 people and be like, hey, and send cold emails like, hey, how did this work for you? That's what you could do. So find your passion. What are you pouring your time into right now for free? And you probably know what it is. People are like thinking deep in their heart. They feel it. You feel it right now. But what comes up is fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of like, oh, what's my girl going to say about this if I start this? What if I start posting videos? What's Uncle Jerry going to say at Thanksgiving? Like, I get it. Those thoughts pop up. But again, come back to you 70 years old. Are you not going to fulfill just because you're scared of some judgment? They're going to judge us either way. Do what you love. And then go all in. That's my advice.
Go all in, baby.
That's
Come
it.
on.
That's it.
Let's grow together.
Let's grow together. Let's go. Like this guy. Come on. Let's go.
If you've watched all the way to the very end, thank you so much. Words can't describe how much I appreciate you. And I'm super glad that you stuck through it to the end so that you can find out where you can find Danny at. You can find Danny on Instagram at DannyCavs4. That's at DANNYCAVS4. That's the best place to reach him, see what he's building, see what he's doing, connect, and just keep rocking out. Again, I appreciate you all so much, and I shall see you guys on the next one. See ya.
All right, guys. Wow, it's crooked. Jesus fucking Christ. You have a point.
Are we looking at the video like...
Dude.